Let's start our video with the story of an accountant. There was a reputable company known for its integrity and success. At the heart of this company was an accountant named John, who was trusted by everyone, including the company's owner, Mr. Smith. John had been with the company for years, managing its finances with what everyone believed was diligence and honesty. However, beneath this facade of trustworthiness, John harbored a dark secret. Over time, he started siphoning off money from the company into his personal accounts. He was clever, covering his tracks with intricate lies and falsified reports. The theft went unnoticed for a while, allowing John to live a life of luxury at the company's expense. Trouble began when discrepancies in the accounts finally caught the attention of Mr. Smith. Alarmed by the missing funds, he initiated a thorough investigation. In a desperate bid to save himself, John cunningly manipulated evidence to point towards an innocent colleague, Michael, a dedicated and hard-working employee who had nothing but the company's best interest at heart. Michael was shocked when accusations were hurled at him. Despite his protests and lack of evidence against him, the situation looked grim. The company, misled by John's deceit, almost took legal action against Michael. But Michael, steadfast in his innocence, requested a more in-depth investigation to clear his name. Mr. Smith, valuing fairness and justice, agreed to hire an external forensic accounting team to re-examine the accounts. The investigation was long and tedious, but the truth slowly unraveled. The meticulous examination revealed the real culprit behind the theft, John. The evidence against John was irrefutable. Not only did it show his guilt in stealing from the company, but it also exposed his attempt to frame Michael. Faced with overwhelming evidence, John confessed to his crimes, hoping for leniency. However, Mr. Smith was unforgiving. As a form of revenge and to make amends for the injustice done to Michael, Mr. Smith took decisive action. He ensured that John faced the full extent of the law, leading to John's arrest and subsequent imprisonment. To further rectify the wrongs, Mr. Smith publicly exonerated Michael, apologizing for the misunderstanding and praising his loyalty and integrity. But Mr. Smith didn't stop there. He awarded Michael a significant promotion and a hefty compensation package for the distress and damage to his reputation. Furthermore, Mr. Smith implemented stringent new financial controls and oversight mechanisms to prevent such an incident from ever happening again. John's downfall became a cautionary tale within the company and the industry at large. His life of luxury turned into one of regret and shame behind bars. Meanwhile, Michael's resilience and integrity were celebrated, and he went on to have a prosperous career, respected by all for his honesty and fortitude. The company recovered from this scandal stronger and more united, with a renewed commitment to ethics and transparency. Mr. Smith's decisive actions in seeking justice and reforming the company's practices earned him admiration, ensuring that the company's legacy would be one of integrity and trustworthiness. And so, the story of John's deceit and downfall served as a powerful reminder of the consequences of betrayal and the strength of truth and justice. In the next story, there lived two friends, Emily and Claire, who had shared years of laughter, secrets, and dreams. Their friendship seemed unbreakable, a bond formed from childhood. Emily was engaged to a kind-hearted man named Eric, and their impending marriage was the subject of much excitement. Claire, always the supportive friend, appeared genuinely happy for Emily and frequently helped with wedding preparations. However, beneath Claire's friendly exterior lay a hidden motive. While she presented herself as a devoted friend, Claire harbored feelings for Eric. Driven by envy and desire, she began plotting to win him over, betraying Emily's trust. Claire saw her chance when she was invited to stay at Emily and Eric's home for a weekend. Claiming to want to help with more wedding plans, she viewed this as her opportunity to grow closer to Eric. During her visit, Claire manipulated situations to spend time alone with Eric, subtly flirting with him and casting doubts about Emily's loyalty and compatibility as a wife. Eric, confused and surprised by Claire's advances, was unsure how to react. He had always considered Claire a friend and was deeply committed to Emily. However, Claire's manipulations started to create a divide between Emily and Eric, putting a strain on their relationship. Emily felt that something was wrong but couldn't identify the cause. Her trust in Claire made her oblivious to the possibility of betrayal. It wasn't until a neighbor, who had noticed Claire's inappropriate behavior, decided to inform Emily that the truth was unveiled. Heartbroken by the discovery, Emily confronted Claire. The confrontation was fraught with emotion, with Claire initially denying everything but ultimately breaking down and admitting her actions. Emily was devastated, not just by her fiancé's betrayal, but even more so by her lifelong friend's treachery. Feeling betrayed and wounded, Emily made a decision. She chose to end her relationship with Eric, realizing that his hesitancy was not the foundation she desired for her marriage. As for Claire, Emily severed all ties, grieving the loss of a friendship she once valued deeply. In the aftermath, Emily focused on her healing and personal growth. She discovered inner strength she hadn't known before, and in time, she forgave Eric, understanding that they both had been manipulated by Claire's deceit. However, she found it impossible to forgive Claire, whose actions had shown a complete disregard for their years of friendship. Claire, in turn, faced the repercussions of her actions. She lost not only a friend, but also the respect of those around her. In a small community, word of her actions spread quickly, leaving her isolated and filled with regret. She realized too late the true value of friendship and the pain her selfish desires had caused. Eric, filled with guilt, took time to introspect. He learned a vital lesson about the significance of loyalty and integrity, understanding the repercussions of doubt, and the impact of external influences on personal decisions. Emily, however, emerged from this painful episode stronger and more resilient. She rediscovered her self-worth and the importance of trust in relationships. Though the betrayal was a difficult period in her life, it led her on a journey of self-discovery and new beginnings, away from deceit. The story of Emily, Claire, and Eric became a cautionary tale about the delicate nature of trust, the deep hurt caused by betrayal, and the power of forgiveness and moving forward. Emily's dignity in the face of adversity reminded everyone that truth eventually reveals the true character of those we consider friends. In another story, the storyteller tells the story by himself. Fast forward over 10 years from that incident in the park, I've graduated high school and landed a job at a plant. This plant isn't just any workplace, it's a beacon of opportunity in my city, offering wages well above the minimum. It's a coveted place to work, one that many locals aspire to join but few actually enter. Through a combination of computer skills, timing, and the retirement of key personnel, I've climbed the ranks to become the second in command at the plant. My manager trusts me immensely and has taken me under his wing, part of which involves overseeing new hires and their training. Recently, we had to dismiss one of our office staff, so I reached out to a placement agency for a replacement. On Monday, to my utter surprise, the racist lady from the park walks in for the job. She doesn't recognize me, but I immediately remember her. I keep it professional, doing the usual introductions and handing her off to HR, then giving her a tour and introducing her to her new colleagues for training. As the week progresses, I ponder over what to do with her. She seems eager to stay, having sought a position at this plant for a long time, preferring it over the long commutes assigned by the agency. I decide on my course of action. On Thursday, during some final training, I casually mention the park near my uncle's house and an encounter with a racist woman there years ago. I watch her expression change from content to fearful as she realizes who I am. I don't bring it up again, but by Friday, I've made my decision. I call the placement agency during her lunch break, instructing them to inform her not to return. She was still under contract, so no formal reason was needed for her dismissal. While the office staff might not be thrilled about retraining someone new, the satisfaction of holding her accountable for her past behavior was worth it. That's where my story ends. There might not be more to tell, but if anything changes, I'll be sure to update. In the end, the young boy from the park had the final say in whether the racist lady could keep her dream job. In the next story, Edison found himself in a peculiar situation one Friday night, living in the countryside where the evenings could turn lively with neighbors' festivities. He usually didn't mind the noise or the chaos, given it didn't cross certain limits. However, this night was unique because Edison was on the roster for the Virginia State Police towing rotation, requiring him to be ready to depart at a moment's notice, within 25 minutes, to attend to any calls for wrecks, DUIs, or impounds. The predicament began when Edison's neighbors threw a massive party, leading to their driveway being completely blocked by 25 to 30 cars. Despite Edison's earlier warning to the neighbors about his on-call status and the necessity to keep his driveway clear, his pleas were ignored. Later, when he needed to leave for work, he discovered his driveway was obstructed by a sea of vehicles. Attempting to resolve the issue diplomatically, Edison approached his neighbors, navigating through a throng of intoxicated teenagers, only to be met with disdain and hostility. His neighbor, in a drunken stupor, dismissed his concerns rudely, further aggravating the situation with derogatory remarks. Left with no choice, Edison called his towing company to dispatch as many trucks as possible to remove the obstructing vehicles. He also informed the police to prevent any altercations during the impound process. Among the chaos, several vehicles were towed, including a yellow Civic, whose owner fled, and a gold Silverado, whose inebriated driver was arrested for underage drinking and DUI after causing damage to Edison's property. An old F-150 was also towed, with its owner nowhere in sight. The aftermath saw the vehicle owners facing a significant fee to retrieve their cars, compounded by storage fees and a gate fee for after-hours releases. Edison left a note in the storage paperwork, sarcastically thanking the party host for the inconvenience that led to the towing. When the vehicle owners called, outraged and threatening legal action, Edison had photographic evidence of the no parking signs and the blocked driveway to justify the impounds. Edison's story serves as a cautionary tale about respecting parking regulations and the resolve of a tow truck driver who won't hesitate to enforce the law when their livelihood is at stake. He humorously concludes his recount by sharing his peaceful nighttime routine of enjoying chocolate milk. In the next story, the person decided to share a story anonymously because they thought it might stir some controversy. But we give him the name LX. This story began a few years ago, during a challenging period in Alex's life, including a painful divorce. Alex had a seemingly perfect suburban life with their spouse, Jordan, and their two children, Mia, who was 14, and Liam, who was 9. Despite outward appearances of health, wealth, and happiness, their marriage hit a rough patch characterized by long work hours and limited family time. Noticing Jordan's increasing engagement with her phone, ostensibly chatting with girlfriends, Alex tried to bridge the growing distance by finishing work earlier and being more present at home. However, the effort seemed in vain as Alex stumbled upon messages on an old iPad, revealing Jordan's questionable exchanges with a man from her past, referred to here as Jimbokooter, JGBC. The messages weren't explicit, but suggested a level of intimacy that troubled Alex deeply. The next day, Alex took a personal day to try and address some household tasks, hoping to please Jordan. Yet, later that evening, Alex discovered even more disheartening conversations between Jordan and JBC. This time, the messages mocked Alex's insecurities and private life. Heartbroken, Alex captured what screenshots they could, realizing the marriage was likely beyond repair. Feeling unable to confront Jordan directly, Alex spent the night alone, wrestling with their emotions. In the following days, they collected evidence of the affair while grappling with a profound sense of betrayal. The messages between Jordan and JBC became increasingly intimate, leaving Alex no doubt about the affair's nature. After consulting a lawyer, Alex learned Jordan planned to meet JBC for a weekend. Jordan then proposed a spa weekend to Alex as a cover for her affair, which Alex pretended to support. Behind the scenes, Alex prepared for confrontation, withdrawing funds from joint accounts and securing financial independence. The day Jordan left for the hotel, Alex followed, armed with damning evidence and a separation agreement. In the hotel lobby, Alex confronted Jordan, offering her an ultimatum. move out quietly, or face public exposure. Despite Jordan's attempts to downplay her actions, Alex stood firm, driven by the evidence they had gathered. In the aftermath, Jordan attempted reconciliation, but Alex remained detached, focusing instead on the welfare of Mia and Liam. Jordan's efforts to mend the relationship included attending counseling and helping around the house. But Alex used these opportunities to solidify their position as the primary caregiver and diminish Jordan's influence over the children. Alex's strategy extended to ensuring the children's loyalty remained with them, subtly influencing their perceptions of Jordan. This manipulation proved pivotal in the custody arrangement, with both children expressing a desire to stay with Alex. The divorce proceedings favored Alex, awarding them the family home, primary custody of the children, and a favorable child support arrangement. Alex emerged from this ordeal with a sense of victory, maintaining a facade of possible reconciliation to Jordan, who was left clinging to the hope of reuniting with her family. Alex's story is a tale of betrayal, strategic planning, and the pursuit of personal justice, reflecting the complexities of marital dissolution and the lengths to which individuals will go to protect their interests and those of their loved ones. Let's start our last story. There lived a boy named Engine. Engine was known for his quiet demeanor and gentle smile, traits that often went unnoticed in the bustling corridors of his school. Unfortunately, Engine fell gravely ill during his sophomore year, a sickness that left him bedridden for months. During this trying period, Engine found himself increasingly isolated, as friends and acquaintances gradually ceased their visits and messages, leaving him to face his illness alone. The experience of being ignored in his time of need deeply wounded Engine, planting the seeds of a resolve to show everyone who overlooked him the strength and potential they had failed to see. As the seasons changed, so too did Engine's health improve, thanks to the tireless care of his family and a newfound determination within himself. He emerged from his illness not only physically stronger, but with a clear vision of who he wanted to become. Engine returned to school with a newfound vigor, but not for the reasons one might expect. He wasn't seeking vengeance in the traditional sense. Rather, Engine's idea of revenge was success and transformation. He poured his energy into his studies, often staying late at the library to catch up on what he had missed. Beyond academics, Engine discovered a passion for track and field, channeling the physical and mental fortitude he had developed during his illness into becoming a remarkable athlete. His transformation did not go unnoticed. Engine's grades soared to the top of his class, and he quickly became one of the key members of the track team, leading them to several victories that had once seemed impossible. With each achievement, Engine dismantled the preconceptions of those who had once ignored him, earning their respect and admiration. However, Engine's revenge was not about proving his worth to others. It was about proving it to himself. He had faced abandonment in his darkest hour and emerged not with bitterness, but with the knowledge that he could rely on his own strength and determination. Engine's story became one of inspiration to those around him, a testament to the power of resilience and self-belief. In the end, Engine's so-called revenge was the life he built for himself, a life of success, fulfillment, and the quiet satisfaction of knowing that he had turned the pain of being ignored into the catalyst for his transformation. His journey taught everyone in the small town a valuable lesson about the importance of compassion and the potential within everyone to overcome adversity and achieve greatness.